Alright YouTubers, so in this video we're going to talk about why you need a power rack. And really this is basically the, we'll call them the top 7 reasons. Some of these will kind of go together, but yeah, I have had this power rack for, well, since Christmas time. And I'll tell you what, I friggin' love it. This may not be the best power rack. I don't know how much the wife spent on it. $200, $300, but it for the most part serves my purposes. And there's some things, you know, we'll talk about the 7 positive things, and I'll throw some negatives possibly about this one, and overall negatives about having a power rack at the end. So let's get started. So really the first 3 things kind of go together on here a little bit, and we'll say versatility. All the stuff that you can do with the power rack, you just can't really beat it, except for there's a Life Fitness machine that sits in the corner that has all kinds of different exercises you can do on it. It's probably the only other piece of equipment I would say that is actually has more exercises that one can do with it. So let's just talk about the exercises that I've been able to do with this, and there's obviously a lot more out there, but so flat bench press, decline, depending on what kind of bench you have. So this bench will actually decline a little. You know, this isn't the best bench in the world, but it has worked for me. I think, you know, I've probably put, well, at least in my videos, close to 400 pounds on the bench. And I do weigh about 260, 265. So somehow it has handled that. I do have another bench over here, which is definitely something I would recommend, something more like that for doing flat bench. For incline though, this seems to work quite well. I have been able to do pull-ups up there as well as chin-ups, so that's one of the benefits that came with this one. Not all of them have that, but definitely something worthwhile. You can do all kinds of different types of squats on here, depending on how you set it up. So you have a, we'll talk about it, there's a safety bar there, which is really a good thing. And upright rows can be done on this, shoulder shrugs, military press. So you can do a lot for your shoulders and your traps just by having something like this. You can do straight arm curls. Obviously, you know, you don't necessarily need this bench for straight arm curls, but the fact that the weight's already, you know, so many inches off the floor and you're not having to pick it up off the floor is a decent thing. There's, you know, other types of rowing exercises that you would be able to use this for. So very, very versatile. And, you know, that's just quickly what I thought of that one could do with this device. So, so we talked about versatility. So space savings, all right. So we talked about all the exercises that you could do, and if you're working out at home, this will eliminate a lot of other equipment. So I also have a decline bench, and we'll show that here shortly. And then I used to have a military bench press and a military press bench press and a incline bench. So with something like this, like I said, you do not need all those machines. And that, you know, when your gym is this is a bit of a mess right here, but you've got, you know, what I've got here is not the most space in the world. So that ends up saving you a little space, especially when you start just piling crap on your benches. Like here's the kiddie pool that's sitting on top of my bench, which, you know, isn't such a great thing. So that alone, you know, the space savings, the square footage that takes versus having all those machines or pieces of equipment is quite useful. So with that comes a little bit of cost savings, right? If I did not have to buy all of those benches, and to be honest with you, buying something like a hammer strength bench will set you back more than buying one of these power racks. Obviously, you got to buy a bench with it, and you know, something like that's not going to be cheap. But you could, obviously, you know, comparing buying this versus one piece of equipment like a hammer strength bench press. You know, maybe you don't come out on top, but if you're talking about comparing the power rack to a flat bench, an incline, and all the other stuff, then there's definitely cost savings, all right? So, convenience. A lot of people, you know, live somewhat far from the gym. Some people, you know, work late, and you know, just trying to find the time to work out, that's an important thing. You got to have the heart to you know, see this stuff through. So hopefully if you spend the money on something like this, you will take advantage of it. But you know, there's something to be said for convenience, just having something right here versus, oh, I got to drive 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes just to get to the gym. You may not do it. So convenience is a major factor. All right, so with that, you know, the fact that you are able to be at home, I'm going to say number 5 is family time. You're going to get more family time. So whether it be that, hey, you can work out with your family a little more because you have all this equipment, or the fact that you did the workout at home and saved yourself that travel time on some of the other stuff that may happen when you go to the gym, that is a major bonus. So safety, you know, just having some of this equipment by itself. I'm not talking power rack, but I'm talking if you had the bench press. A lot of times you do not have safety devices like that, so you can safely do bench press with a device like this. Now, obviously, you can still injure yourself. Things can still happen, and you know, nothing is completely avoided. But you know, doing squats, having the safety bars in there, military press, a lot of things have been made safer by doing this versus doing it without those kind of safety factors. So I think that is huge. And these, you know, my list wasn't in any particular order. So then privacy, okay? Now, having this in your home, having it in the basement, having it wherever, you do not have to sit there and worry about, oh, somebody's going to laugh at me because I can barely bench any more than the bar, or I can't even bench the bar. You know, all those things that some people, you know, might have a little phobia about. You can wear whatever you want down here when you're working out. So I could work out in flip-flops, you know, which isn't really smart to do with these kind of weights that could fall on your foot and break it. But, you know, you have that choice of dressing how you want. So that is pretty much my top reasons for why somebody would need a power rack. Now, some of the negatives that go with this. So let's say you're considering jumping from this from a gym membership. You know, keep in mind that if you're at Planet Fitness or something, you're only paying $10 a month, and I don't even think they charge you a down payment at the beginning. But 10 months, $10 a month, $120 a year. It'd take at least probably 2 to 3 years to pay off the power rack going that method. 300 pounds worth of weights and a barbell will set you back probably 250 to 300. So that's another couple years. These benches, you know, that one I got a heck of a deal on eBay on that. which isn't fair. But a bench like this is probably going to cost more likely over $200. So it's going to take you 6 years of working out at the house, and you don't even have the cardio equipment. So just remember that it's a sizable investment if you were to go from strictly a gym to this kind of setup. Now, if you have other pieces of equipment, big bulky equipment, or you're thinking of buying big bulky equipment, you know, if we go back to how I mentioned, there's that cost savings by having one power rack that can do most of those things. And so the biggest thing that I miss here working out in the basement is that competitive spirit. Even in my older age, you know, doing bench press with the guys is something that you will never get here. Maybe you can do it with your family, or you have some neighbors you can work out with, but otherwise, you know, you kind of lose that competitiveness that makes working out fun at times. So those would be the only, you know, serious negatives I can think of, beyond the fact that if I do have something go south down here, there may not be anybody to hear my screams, unless you're smart enough to have Alexa or Hey Google device in here like I do. So thanks for checking out the video. Please like, please subscribe.